Hello and welcome to the Integrative Health Convention 2018 online interviews. Today we're going to find out more about EFT from Subir and Emma Roberts of the EFT Centre in North London, both who are speaking at the Integrative Health Convention this October. The Integrative Health Convention is an annual convention in London featuring many leaders in their fields of complementary and conventional medical therapies to help people get better through their various healing practices. It's an opportunity for doctors, therapists, the public to share, learn from, meet, and connect with each other. We believe that true health is holistic and that people get better in more than just one way. We believe that we have all so much to learn from each other and that the Integrative Health Convention provides a stage for this, for therapists, doctors, and the public. There are a limited number of tickets available, which can be purchased at integrativehealthconvention.co.uk. This series of online interviews will help you get to know our speakers who are leaders in their different fields of healing, therapy, or medicine, and maybe help you decide which talk to attend out of the 36 talks to choose from over 2 days at the Integrative Health Convention 2018 at the Park Plaza, Victoria. I'm your host, Dr. Wong. I've been a GP for the last 12 years in Devon, and I'm co-founder of Neurolinguistic Healthcare Limited, the organizers of the Integrative Health Convention. Neurolinguistic Healthcare provides courses in advanced communication skills and therapeutic techniques, as well as training in hypnosis for healthcare providers. Today, I'm speaking with two of our amazing speakers who are coming to the 2018 Integrative Health Convention this October at the Park Plaza to share with you what they know and tell us a bit about what they do and what to expect from their talk at the convention. So this is Emma Roberts at the top and Subir on the bottom, who are EFT founding masters who trained with the founder of EFT, Gary Craig. They run the EFT Centre in North London, where they train people who want to be therapists in EFT and existing EFT therapists who want to build upon their skills. And they train with various schools and work with various health professionals. They can be found at the EFTcenter.com, and I'll put the links and the web address down below so that you can follow this. Okay, so hi, Sue and Emma.
Hello.
Before we begin, should we let the audience know a little bit more about yourself, maybe what I didn't cover?
Okay, well, as you said, we're the co-founders of the EFT Centre in North London. We have been training people in EFT for, 16, 17 years now, I guess. We train people from all walks in life, whether you're just public interested in this for your own self-development, or whether you want to integrate EFT into your existing therapeutic profession, whether that's a medical profession, nursing, psychotherapy, Reiki, acupuncture. We get people from all walks doing our trainings who successfully integrate tapping within their profession and find it makes a difference. It kind of supercharges what they're already doing. So I'll hand over to Sue now.
Yes, absolutely. I go along with everything that you're saying. We also train people in what we call integrative energy techniques, which is a combination of EFT with NLP and hypnotherapy, basically. One of the things that can be lacking with EFT training is that the basic therapeutic skills. It's a very powerful tool to slot into a psychotherapy toolkit, really. So that's something that we've developed over time and brought together, really, our many years of experience from different psychotherapeutic approaches, NLP and hypnotherapy, and we've created a kind of blend to teach to people, which we think gives the best of what's available without having to trawl through the 20 odd years of trainings and experience that we've done. So
before the interview, I was saying that EFT or tapping is quite popular with a lot of medical professionals, especially GPs, who find other sorts of complementary medicine less easy to integrate, but they seem to understand or are happier to integrate EFT. Do you find that that's true in your experience?
Yeah, absolutely, because it kind of works both ways. People such as GPs or psychotherapists really can find EFT so easy to integrate in what they're doing. So you can more or less do what you always do, because the main thing is always the human connection, the rapport. And so, you know, tapping can be used beautifully alongside that kind of very natural conversational communication. So that's absolutely great if people are already practitioners and health professionals of some sort. The flip side of it is that the basic EFT training is very, very quick, but if people don't already have those skills that can take a long time to hone and develop, that needs to be, you know, kind of added on. So it's paradoxical, really, because the EFT training is the basics of it are very, very simple and can be learnt in a day, really. But the foundational, fundamental skills that really make it sing and dance, you know, do take longer, take much longer, as you'll know yourself from your own background and training.
So for the audience, what exactly does the EFT involve?
EFT is one of these things. It's one of the new energy psychologies, and it looks a bit strange. It's a coming together of Eastern approaches such as acupuncture, kinesiology, with Western psychological approaches, and it involves tapping on particular points in your body, which are the points, so the end points of what in Chinese medicine are known as the body's energy meridians, which are channels that carry energy through the body. Acupuncturists will put a needle in specific points. We are only tapping on the endpoints to send a vibration through these whilst you're tuned into the particular problem or issue that you're working with. So it looks a bit odd. You're tapping on yourself and you're talking out loud. Yeah, Sue's demonstrating it for you. It works. We're very much results based, actually. I'm not going to sit here and give you any science behind it, because I honestly don't know it. Although there are some research programs now that have been completed. In fact, we've done a pilot research study with the Breast Cancer Haven charity. But it's all about results, and the joy of it is, for us, I think, is that people can take it and use it for themselves. Because if you like, in integrated health, for instance, we as practitioners are not going to be in the same room as the person who's about to have the surgery or about to go whatever the procedure is. But if they've got the tools at their fingertips, they can soothe themselves and de-stress. I mean, that's one of the simplest things that it does, actually, in situ. And that in turn, we get feedback from consultants and doctors going, God, life was so much easier. They were so much less stressed than I was expecting, sort of thing. And that has to help both in the process and in the healing process, I think.
Good.
It's be that people get less side effects from medications and things when they're tapping with using the EFT, and to heal on the whole faster than expected. We get that feedback so many times, it can't just be a coincidence.
I think there's the whole area of prevention as well, because if people regularly use tapping for themselves, so that they're able to kind of, you know, reset their own kind of stress threshold, you know, a kind of a notch or two down, just from using the tapping in the most basic, simple ways, they're just less likely to suffer from the kind of things that, you know, jam up the GP's offices. And you know, much more able to be self-managing and just generally happier. I mean, it occurs to me that what ails many people is they're just not very happy, and this is a really simple way that people can kind of, you know, raise the quality of their lives. And I think that in the future this is the way that we need to go, in terms of you know, there just being less requirement for what's increasingly becoming a, you know, high-tech medical world, and being able to do that for ourselves is an amazing thing, I think.
To use the resources they've got already.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
for self-management and stress management.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And which is really easy, you know, when we're talking about, you know, training in EFT at the most basic levels, people can learn to use it for themselves for stress management very very quickly, and become adept at that, and become in a way become their own therapists.
Brilliant. So I'm curious as to what brings people to be interested in their field, in health and healing, in your case in EFT, or in health and healing. Can you tell me how both of you got interested in what you do, and the story behind how you started doing what you do now?
Okay, well, I got into hypnotherapy first because I was very cynical, and I went off to have hypnotherapy for something, and I came away and it worked, and that in a way that slightly annoyed me, because I wasn't sort of wanted to show that it didn't work, because I'm a doctor's daughter and I've got a doctor father-in-law as well, so I was kind of, this isn't going to work, this is rubbish, it won't work for me, you can't hypnotize me anyway. It did work, so I thought, how? So I then went and did some training, over the years training in hypnotherapy and NLP, which really excited me. So then I set up my own practice. Sue and I then met because we were both coaches on the particular training course that I'd done, and we were coaches and examiners on that, and we were introduced to EFT in a supervision session. I'll let Sue take over from that one, but it kind of ran with us.
Yeah, it took us quite a long way. Yeah, I mean, actually, my original interest was inspired by hypnotherapy. I went to a hypnotherapist to stop smoking, and at that time, I think I had sort of really chronic bad anxiety, but the problem that I wanted fixed was the smoking, and the hypnotherapy, it actually didn't stop me smoking at that time, but it had a huge impact on anxiety. And once I was less anxious, a whole different kind of world opened up for me, and I became fascinated by how that had happened. And then I actually originally trained in psychotherapy and psychodynamic psychotherapy, because knowing nothing about anything really, I just thought, oh well, I'll do that training. And then quite quickly, I then got much more interested in the whole field of Ericksonian hypnotherapy, and that kind of led me on the path where I met Emma. And I've kind of got to the point where I specialize really in addictions. I mean, especially helping people with really kind of entrenched, smoking problems or any kind of addictions, because it occurred to me sort of way back in my own story, where the original hypnotherapy didn't stop the smoking, but it did set me on a path of freedom from the anxiety. The realization that the addictions are just the kind of symptom. There's a lot kind of going on underneath that, has become something that has fascinated me, and I've developed, and I work a lot in that field, and the idea that once we do actually get at what's going on underneath, our whole lives can change, and we can have a lot more joy and happiness, and that's really what really fascinates me.
Wonderful.
And EFT, of course, is just, since we've both got backgrounds that include all sorts of other techniques and learnings, EFT has been the thing that has become the sort of top go-to tool. Absolutely, that there isn't anything else that compares with it really in my background, our backgrounds, I think.
It's really a holistic approach, isn't it? A really integrative approach, a bit of this, a bit of that, and finding the most effective thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you still integrate that with your training, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's right. So you're going to talk about EFT at your talk at the Park Plaza this October with the Integrative Health Convention. Can you tell us a little bit more about this and what the audience will get out of it?
Okay, well, the audience will get a basic understanding of what EFT is, a very brief introduction as to how it's come about and how it can be useful to them. But we'll give them we'll teach them how to do it, and we will give them an experience of that we can do in a large group, so that they actually get the felt sense of how this works, because it's quite difficult to describe it, this kind of internal shift in energy, but we have some tangible ways in which we can kind of evidence that, which would be useful for them to take away from that day onwards and either integrate into their practice, just this particular way of working, or for them, well, and for themselves, hopefully. So that kind of real hands-on approach. I mean, all of our trainings are very hands-on, because we think that in order to actually take this out, you've got to get it on the inside.
Absolutely.
So we have a little taster of that, and then talk about our work in integrated health as well. You know, we work within the field of cancer, fertility, IBS, all sorts of different physical ailments that we work with, and how it can help and support the medical profession.
Good.
Yeah.
Do.
I think that the main thing that we'll be aiming to do, though, is to get over to the audience, you know, how the basics of this are really easy to learn, and we're going to be able to teach people the basics, so that they get, hopefully they will get a kind of personal experience of it in the session, and then, you know, some people may want to take the learning further, and there's all sorts of paths to do that, which we'll tell people about, you know, what you can do if you are interested in taking it further. But we always like to get the point over that even what we can teach in you know, the short amount of time that we'll have together at the convention is actually enough to, you know, to go off and begin using it for yourself as a, you know, a kind of tool for stress management and managing, you know, the everyday anxieties and stresses, which will make a difference, even if you never do any more training. But if you do train further in it, I think that's a lifelong journey, actually, because I think it just sort of develops us as human beings, and we don't know yet that, you know, the potential for that. I think it's absolutely amazing and fascinating, and fortunately there's more research is now beginning to be done, and there is some very interesting research coming out. So more of that in the future. So hopefully we'll inspire people to get interested in what we're doing more and take it further.
Brilliant. So having thought about the Integrative Health Convention, where the audience will be made up of doctors, therapists, and the public, where do you see your particular practice fitting in with integrative health? Perhaps some people will call it holistic health.
I always say that EFT is not proud. We're not proud. It fits with anything.
Yeah.
It won't detract from anything, and it will help and support anything, any field. And that's just both our experience and the experience of our students that we get feedback from in supervision sessions that we run. It just seems to make things easier, but it's not taking the place of
What a
anything.
wonderful ideology.
It kind of goes alongside.
Yeah. Part of the convention is putting aside egos and using whatever that works.
Well, that's actually our philosophy completely. You know, a bit of this, a bit of that. Make your own mixture and find out what works for you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that EFT will be everybody's cup of tea either. Absolutely not. But it's about making that decision, having tried it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm asking one particular extra question. So as therapists and teachers with years of experience, what do you think, both of you in particular, is the key to healing in what you do? So something personal as to what you think makes the most difference.
I think it's the essence of who we are, and that we're walking our own talk, we've done our own work, and that the rapport skills that we both teach and demonstrate, that connection. If you can hold somebody in a safe place, they will do their own work. We're not doing their work. We can't change anybody, but what we can do is hold a safe space and open doors to facilitate that change. Would you agree with that, Sue? What would you say?
Absolutely agree. And I would only add that I think it's about a genuine interest and curiosity and compassion for you know, ourselves and others. And I think on top of that, a kind of lightness of approach with this work, if we can call it work, you know, can be humorous. There can be humor in it. And, you know, I think that the days of kind of, you know, very po-faced serious therapy should be over.
Well-
Bring in more fun.
Brilliant.
We've lost the video.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we've lost Sue there, but we're just about to end it anyway. So thank you for taking time to watch and listen to this interview. To the audience, thank you to the audience for taking your time. So remember to get your tickets early now from our website, integrativehealthconvention.co.uk, by following the links below. So again, we are the Integrative Health Convention in London on the 13th and 14th of October 2018. You can use the discount code podcast10, which I'll put it down below, which will give you a 10% discount as a gift from us to you for taking your time and spending it with us today. When we see you in October in London, you get to speak and meet with Sue and Emma and so many of our amazing speakers. We'd love to see you there. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sue. Thanks, Emma.
Thank you.